What's up, y'all? We are back with a ZVT or TVZ between our yellow Terran bbreed and his pink Zerg opponent, Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee, the notorious rusher. Wonder what he'll be going for this game. Is he gonna go for a rush, or is he gonna play some mind games and go for a macro build? We don't see a gas or pool just yet, so maybe we're gonna see an expansion first. bbreed, he's gonna be doing his bbreed thing. Not much to talk about there. Barracks on the way, scout going across the map, refinery going down. All standard stuff, and indeed we see an expansion out of Mr. Lee. So the cheesiest thing a cheesy player can do is play standard, and that seems to be the opening, at least for now. Maybe he'll go for some kind of Nidus or Muta Rush or something, but as of now we're not gonna see no flood of lings, no Bane bust just yet. This SCV did go inside and spot everything, sees the timing, knows there's no early pool, but bbreed going for something a bit cheeky himself. 2 gases already. And I have a feeling we're going to see a factory and perhaps a starport after that. Whoa, it's actually going to be a command center, an early expansion. So what's all this gas going for? A lot of gas that isn't really being utilized at the moment. So we see him going up to 200 already. And there is the factory going down, so maybe it is going to be starport into battle cruisers. Over on the side of Kevin, he is now getting his Ling speed, continuing to mine gas, and in fact getting a second extractor. Not entirely sure what that means. Are we going to see a quick layer into Nidus worm? Kevin not usually the type to go for roaches, so I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. What is this gas going for? It's going to be a Baneling nest. So maybe some kind of delayed Baneling bust? That could be very powerful if bbreed's not expecting any aggression. And he did scout, so he does think it's pretty standard. At least with the information he has. But Kevin is building a lot of lings, and he is starting to run them across the map now. And is bbreed gonna be ready? He doesn't quite have a wall just yet. Does have a bunker. That's nice, I guess. Gonna be enough to repel the lings for now, but they're gonna be able to morph into banelings if Kevin chooses. But perhaps not. He's gonna be droning behind this and getting his layer. And gonna be getting gases 3 and 4, so that definitely screams Mutalisks. Gonna be getting a Spore Crawler in his main mineral line, just to be safe against Banshees, I suppose. But that's not what's going to be coming out of our Terran player. It's going to be a fusion core. It is going to be the battle cruisers. Scan does go down, spots the layer finishing up. So bbreed is going to know that layer tech is going to be available. And whoa, Roach Warren and Hydralisk Den coming up as soon as the layer finished. That's kind of an odd choice. You don't really need 4 gases to go for that, and still on 2 bases. So Roach Hydra is the plan. Not sure why the Baneling Nest was necessary, but now Kevin flies his Overseer in, is gonna spot the fusion core, so he should know battle cruisers are imminent. Throwing down some additional spore crawlers. I would like to see a couple more queens. Does have one on creep duty right now. And gonna be getting Hydralisk, but not yet starting those upgrades. And floating a lot of gas is Kevin, which is why you don't really need 4 gases for this unit composition. Not on 2 bases at least. And bbreed has finished up his initial battle cruiser, but it's still chilling at home. We don't see a teleport just yet. And bbreed has his attention elsewhere, building his 3rd. Now he does teleport the battle cruiser into the back of the natural mineral line. Gonna pick off just one, okay, 2 drones so far, and 1 Hydra. It's definitely not the damage he wanted, but as long as he doesn't lose this battle cruiser, it's a-okay. It's going to continue to be annoying, bouncing back and forth in this kind of dead space between the bases. Kevin doing his best to try to whittle away at that battle cruiser, and it's just going to hide in the corner here next to this shark. And just continuing to be annoying. Picks off another Hydralisk and gonna weasel his way out. Kevin trying to chase with his Hydras, and that battle cruiser's getting low. You gotta be careful, bbreed. Does get it away, and he's starting up another battle cruiser. These Lings still just kinda hanging out over here. Haven't really been doing too much. They could go over to harass the 3rd, but kind of just chilling. And behind this, 1-1 upgrades on the way from Kevin. Gonna be just massing up Hydralisk so far. Gonna be starting the Glial Reconstitution Roach Speed upgrade. No roaches on the way just yet, and we are going to see a Nidus network going down. So Nidus is going to be the plan for Kevin. I'm not sure where he's going to pop that up. He doesn't really have any overlords on the outskirts of bbreed's base. He has this one here, but that's not going to be in bbreed's base. Of course, you don't always have to Nidus into their base, but bbreed going for an attack now. 5 tanks and a lot of Marines. This is going to be very difficult for Kevin to deal with. He might just give up this 3rd base while he tries to morph his Banelings and muster up an army that can deal with this, but a lot of critical upgrades. Not quite done yet. The 1-1 almost done. Muscular augments, Glial Reconstitution, and the Baneling speed. So Kevin should wait for that before he goes for an engagement. But of course, the longer he waits, the more Terran there is. Going for the attack now before everything was done. No Bane speed just yet still, and now running into 4 tanks. That is never a good idea. Gonna take a ton of damage, and Kevin's forced to back up, try to regroup, get enough army to hopefully push this back. Going in again, but the tanks are sieged up. Kevin's gonna try to pounce on them. Gonna take a lot of fire, but he is going to clean those tanks up. eventually, but now there are not enough Hydras remaining to deal with these battle cruisers. One battle cruiser very low does go down, but the remaining battle cruiser should be able to deal with these units if bbreed chooses. Gonna back up, wait for his reinforcements. 2 more tanks and a few marines here. They're kind of split up, so good opportunity there from Kevin to jump on that one tank. Second tank might get picked off as well, and it does go down. bbreed's gonna have to run on home with his tail between his legs. Okay, hold out of Kevin. All things considered, he did have to sacrifice that 3rd base, so he is not in an excellent position just yet. bbreed does have his 3 bases, but not quite mining off of his 3rd, but he does have that option whenever he chooses, and he is migrating his workers on over. So the income should be favoring the Terran player now, and uh-oh, not watching his battlecruiser, going to lose that. Going to siege up this tank, but it is only going to get 2 shots off before it falls. 3 more tanks in the back is going to be enough to push the Roach Hydra force back. Actually, it's only Hydras, it looks like. Now Kevin going to be trying to reestablish his 3rd base, but he has been lacking in the economy for a few minutes now, shooting up in favor of our Terran player. Kevin gonna be sending some drones over to the 3rd. It's not even done yet, but he desperately needs that extra income. Now dropping down a Nidus into the back of bbreed's natural. Does he see this? Where's he looking? He doesn't see it. He's focused in his main, getting his upgrades. Now he hears that screech. He jumps on over, but oh no, everything's unloading. He's scrambling. Where's my army? Trying to bring his army home to deal with this, but the damage is already done. Loses the natural. Now the Zerg is gonna run into bbreed's main base, and that is bad news. Do not want to have your production siege like this. Units coming out of these factories will just die immediately. Now bbreed has brought his entire army back. A bunch of tanks, marines as well, single battle cruiser, but the damage, is it too much? He's lost 2 command centers, a bunch of workers, a bunch of buildings, and bbreed is in a pretty rough spot right now. He does have his 3rd still, and he's established his 4th command center, which is now his 2nd since he lost 2. So all things considered, I think he's not in too awful of a spot, but it was pretty impactful to lose those 2 command centers, and of course that gives Kevin the time he needed to get this 3rd up and running, and I really would have liked to see a 4th even during that time, but now Kevin trying to jump on top of this army before the tanks are sieged, but doesn't really have enough to capitalize on that. And what happened to his units? He doesn't have any units. Small Roach Hydra force, but that's not going to be enough to deal with these tanks. The Marines, sure, that's a nice pickoff, but these tanks are very scary. One thing Kevin does have going for him is this fantastic creep spread, so he sees everything this army is doing, if and when bbreed decides to unsiege, Kevin can potentially jump on top of those tanks, and that might be his ticket to victory. But more tanks coming in, and that is very scary. Does lose one kind of sloppily. Gonna siege up once again, and I think bbreed needs to carefully and methodically leapfrog his tanks up. Do not unsiege everything all at once. Kevin trying to morph some Ravagers, which are very helpful in dealing with tanks. They can shoot off those vials and kill the tanks from a distance. Now bbreed once again kind of sieging up way too close to the Zerg army. Gonna lose another 2 tanks for practically free. And I'd like to see bbreed unsiege a couple of these, move them up, and then unsiege a couple of these, move them up. But Kevin just making his Roach Ravager Hydra army, getting his 2/2 upgrades, getting burrow and burrow movement for his roaches, so he might be going for some burrow shenanigans, and that can be very strong against tanks. Roaches, if they just burrow under the ground, go under the tanks and pop up right below them, it's a very good way to deal with tanks. And bbreed really needs to get rid of this creep. Just spend a scan and kill these tumors. He's giving Kevin some free information right now, just chilling here on the creep. Kevin gonna be dropping another Nidus network, and bbreed once again not paying attention to his mini map just yet. Does spot it now, but it's too late. It's finished, and well, nothing's coming out just yet. Now bbreed running on home with his bio, leaving his tanks unsieged. This could be an opportunity for Kevin. Not going to be unloading from that Nidus after all. But these tanks are naked. Kevin, you can jump on this. He is going for that burrow attack. Gonna go underneath the tanks, and ooh, let's watch this unfold. That wasn't as effective as I had expected. Not really sending enough roaches there in the back, and only burrowing half of them. And then he does back off with the remaining one. So a good idea in concept, but the execution not quite there. And bbreed gonna re-land that command center. He's getting 5th base even. Another Nidus over here though in the main. That could be scary. And bbreed, I don't think he even cares at this point. He is going for an attack. Gets the notification now, but his army is all the way across the map. I think he is too committed. And yeah, not too much at home for bbreed. He just needs to go. And Kevin trying to look for the optimal angle to engage this. And I don't know what angle that would be at. So there's quite a lot of Terran. Tanks are still very scary. No hive tech out of Kevin, so he does not have access to Vipers or Broodlords or anything like that. So this is all he's going to have to work with, at least for now. Very low worker counts from both players, especially the Zerg. 41 drones is painfully low. He is nearly max, so it's not that big of a deal, but if he loses this army, it's going to be very difficult for him to re-max, and he's going to go for the engagement now, walking into the tank fire. Going to take a ton of damage doing so, but he is going to be able to clean up most of this Terran army. Going to pick off the remaining tanks and some reinforcements. Gonna protect this last tank, which is dealing tons of damage. Widow Mine's gonna be blasting away at the Zerg army as well, but it's not gonna be enough to completely clear it out. So Kevin gonna be able to clean up that force that was kind of containing him. Some Widow Mines still burrowed, being super annoying, but this Roach Hydra Ravager army, very formidable, and there's not a lot of Terran here. Is bbreed gonna be able to hold these tanks? Not gonna be able to do it. One more tank up here, not gonna be able to hold either, and GG is called. Kevin is gonna take game numero uno.